Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a super fascinating topic, deep learning. Now, if you've heard of it but don't really know what it means, don't sweat it. We're here to break it down together and explore why it's such a big deal in our tech-driven world. So, grab your snacks and let's chat about deep learning. First up, what even is deep learning? Imagine it as a special branch of artificial intelligence, or AI for short. Think of AI as the big umbrella, with machine learning, which helps computers learn from data, hanging underneath, and deep learning coming in as a fancy, advanced form of machine learning. Now, at the core of deep learning are something called neural networks. Picture a web of interconnected nodes, a bit like a brain. These nodes are organized in layers. We've got the input layer that takes in data, multiple hidden layers that process information, and finally the output layer that gives us the results. And just like how we've developed over time in learning, deep learning has also evolved. So, how does this whole deep learning process actually work? Let's break it down. First, it all starts with data. The more data you feed these neural networks, the better they get at understanding patterns. This is where algorithms come into play. They're like the rules of the game for the neural networks, guiding them on how to learn from the data. One of the key things is training the network. This is where it gets to flex its muscles, learning over time through trial and error. The network tries to make predictions, and then it gets feedback on how it did. Just like when you practice a sport or instrument, the more you practice, the better you get. Now that we've got the basics down, let's chat about some cool types of deep learning models. First up, we have convolutional neural networks, or CNNs. These are the superheroes of image processing. Whether it's classifying photos or detecting objects in a scene, CNNs are the ones behind the magic. Next, let's talk about recurrent neural networks, or RNNs. These guys are all about sequences, like understanding sentences or predicting the next word in a text. Think about text messaging. RNNs help make sense of everything flowing together smoothly. Lastly, we can't forget about generative adversarial networks, or GANs. They're quite the duo. One network generates new data while the other critiques it, kind of like a friendly competition. This model is behind some of the wild and creative applications, like generating art or making realistic fake images. Now you might be wondering, okay, but where do we see deep learning in the real world? Great question. Let's explore a few ways it's already making waves. In healthcare, deep learning helps doctors diagnose diseases faster and even assists in discovering new drugs. Imagine having tools that help save lives. In the automotive world, deep learning is key for self-driving cars. These vehicles analyze their surroundings in real time, making split-second decisions to keep passengers safe. When it comes to finance, banks use deep learning to detect fraudulent transactions. It's all about keeping your money secure. And let's not forget about entertainment. From personalized movie recommendations on platforms like Netflix to Spotify, curating your daily playlists, deep learning shapes our viewing and listening experiences. Of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some challenges with deep learning. For starters, it requires a ton of data to train effectively. Without sufficient data, the models can miss the mark. Then there's the cost of computing power. Training these models can be super resource intensive, requiring expensive hardware. Another big issue is interpretability. Sometimes it's hard to understand how these models make their decisions, which can be a bit concerning. And let's not forget, if the data used to train these models has any biases, it can lead to unfair outcomes. So what's next for deep learning? The future looks bright. There are emerging trends like explainable AI, which is all about making it clearer how these models work. With more focus on ethics in AI, we're heading towards a more responsible and transparent use of technology. All right, folks, let's wrap this up. Today, we explored deep learning, from what it is to its real-world applications, and even some challenges it faces. It's all about making our lives better through technology, but we also need to stay vigilant about the issues that can arise. If you found this discussion interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below about your thoughts on deep learning. What do you think is the coolest application out there? I can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious.